Today we've got a really neat treat for you. We are making chocolate mint protein donuts. And I never eat donuts. I don't touch them because they're so high in calories. I know they taste good, but I don't need the sugar and I don't need the extra calories. But today we're doing donuts that are high in protein and they're actually good for you. So let's get started. I like to start with my dry ingredients first, and I'm gonna start by putting in our protein powder, and then I'm gonna add in my cocoa. Now, I like adding extra cocoa because it's gonna make your donuts nice and dark. They're gonna come out of the oven smelling really chocolatey and really good. And we'll put in our baking powder here, and now we're just gonna mix this all up so that it's nice and smooth all the way through and you don't have chunks of the cocoa powder all over to one side. So you want it mixed up nice and even here. Now what I'm gonna do with the Greek yogurt, just so it's not quite as tart, is I'm going to put a little bit of sweetener in. And you can do this to taste, but I'm gonna put the equivalent of half a cup of sugar into my Greek yogurt before I put it in. Now I use a liquid sucralose. You can use Splenda, you can use stevia, any kind of sweetener you want, but you want it to be the equivalent of half a cup of sugar. So I'm just gonna put 6 drops, 1, 2, 3, right in here of my liquid sucralose. And then I'm gonna mix this up before I put it into my dry ingredients. And that'll just reduce the tartness a little bit of the Greek yogurt that we're using. Perfect. Dump this right in here. Now, if you wanted to be extra fancy, you could take all of your liquid ingredients and mix those up separately, but it's all gonna turn out fine. And now I'm gonna add my egg whites. Now I've used real eggs, but you can use the eggs that come in the little containers if you want, equivalent to 2 egg whites. And then 2 whole eggs. The great thing about eggs is for very few calories, they give you really great fats that we need in our diet and lots of protein. And here we go, I'm just gonna mix this all up till it's a nice, even consistency. And you'll notice as you're mixing it, the color is gonna get nice and chocolatey. It's starting to look really good, and I can smell the chocolate. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous chocolate color. Now we're gonna mix in our chocolate chips, our minty chocolate chips. Toss those right in there. And once we have those mixed up, I'm actually gonna put this into a Ziploc bag, cut the corner out, and I'm gonna use that to put it into my pan to make our donuts. I like to fold the edges of the bag down so that it's a little bit easier to manage as we're pouring it in. And here we go. Look at that. Make sure you get all the chocolate chips in there. Okay, now we're gonna close up our Ziploc bag. Make sure we get it sealed nice and tight. Look how easy that is. And we just make sure you have your hole big enough that your chocolate chips can get out and that everyone is pretty even. It doesn't have to be perfect. And look at that, no mess. That was super easy. Remember, I don't cook, so if I can do this, you can do this. And we're gonna put this in our oven that was preheated to 350 degrees, and we're gonna cook this for about 15 minutes and check on them. So our chocolate mint protein donuts are done in the oven and they smell absolutely delicious. I can smell the mint from the little chocolate chips we put in. I can't wait to have them. We're gonna let these cool for a few minutes and then we're gonna make a super easy protein icing to go on top. All right, so for our protein icing, all we need is 1 cup of chocolate protein, and we're gonna add in half a cup of Greek yogurt, but we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of mint flavoring extract, and we're gonna add in the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of sugar. So here's my 1/4 teaspoon of mint extract. Dump that right into our Greek yogurt. And then I'm going to add in my sucralose. 6 drops of sucralose, just like that. And that will give it a nice sweet flavor, and that will help with the tartness of the Greek yogurt. I'm gonna mix that together. And then I'm gonna put that right into our chocolate protein powder. And it smells really delicious. All right, so we're gonna mix this together. Don't worry if it starts to look like it's too dry, just keep going. As you can see, it's already starting to form more like an icing. And we're just gonna keep whipping it here until it starts to get a really nice icing consistency. Oh, I can smell the mint and the chocolate. It smells delicious. Look at that, it's starting to look like an icing. That's exactly what we want. So now that we have our icing to the consistency that we want, we're just gonna take a Ziploc bag, fold it over, so it's nice and easy to pour in, and then we're gonna scoop it right into our bag and use that to put on top of our little donut. And just like we did before, we're gonna make sure we get the air out of our bag, fold it over on the top, make sure you get it closed nice and tight. There we go. Now we're gonna ice. Cut one little corner off. Don't make it too big because you want to be able to have a nice bead of icing coming out on top of your donuts. Now that we've let our protein donuts cool, we're gonna put a little bit of our icing on top, and just like that all the way around. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Set this down. I think we should try it. It smells like chocolate. It smells like mint. I can't believe I'm having a donut that is full of protein. Let's try it. That was really good. You guys are gonna like these.